Today is Thursday, August 24th. We are doing an elite member meeting, which means we are reviewing film from our elite members on bitteratbeach.com and answering questions. Travis was the first one to call in. Everybody else, please call in. We're going to do it as a group again. So as soon as you call in, we will let you in. And Travis, what's been going on since 2 days ago?
Since 2 days ago, I've been bending a minor groin pull from the weekend play. But I was really proud of myself. I pulled myself out very early in our last match. I think we were 2 points in, and I felt it. I felt the pull, and I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to pull out. And I got a lot of respect from all the other players, which was, just the right sort of energy group to be a part of. So I was happy with that. And that's coming along well. I have had this weird stomach something. A roommate made some oatmeal and might have been using some cranberries that had gone moldy. Stomach it was not great yesterday. It's a little bit better today. And I've got a grass leagues threes finals tonight. So hoping to play well on that one. And then I just I put in some footage looking at my blocking. My blocking and peeling is the section I was hoping to look at today.
Okay, Facebook.
Travis, can I just say while he's looking that up, I'm loving your consistency. Like, you've been on every single call. I think there was a season where I think you got busy, maybe with travel or something like that, but I've enjoyed getting to see you every week, at least twice. So keep it up, man.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great to be, great to have both of you guys on the calls here and seeing so much information. So, thank you.
Yeah. Dang, so grass league. I actually got invited to play grass tonight, and I was like, I don't know if my body can handle that.
Oh, get out of here.
I feel like an old man right now, Mark.
Yeah, you wait till you're my age, son.
Oh, man. Grass. Good old grass.
Okay, so Travis, we are looking at your blocking and peeling, but let's talk about a little bit first what we talked about last time. So you didn't have the opportunity to play then. To fix that spacing that we talked about last time, huh?
Yeah, I joined like a very social, like birthday party, 6-a-side grass, just casual hit yesterday. Didn't have that same opportunity to work on like the preparedness on the on-two sort of thing.
Okay. And yeah, guys, Travis is accepting donations so that he could get the paid version of Wondershare so that he can get this stupid logo off of his videos. So, hit the Patreon for Travis.
Go ahead and drop your Venmo, Travis.
Yeah. I guess that Ball Time app, that I haven't looked into that one, but I heard that one does all the editing for you, right?
We got introduced to that early, and I think it's doing a good job. So for everybody who's looking to edit their own videos or like get volleyball videos, check out Ball Time. I mean, for the $6 to $10, whatever it would be per month, if you're looking at your own film, completely worth it because it cuts out the dead time between plays. All right. So this is you blocking here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's only like 1 or 2 clips that might have snuck in there that wasn't about blocking, but yeah, it should all be me blocking.
Okay. Number one. I'll be tough on you. All of these are you're really late.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the person in mid approach, and then you're like, okay, how do I get in front of him? As soon as somebody passes, you have to make sure that the person who's on two is not a threat, right? And you can do that by being within an arm's distance of them and having your hands high and a little quarter squat just so that you could immediately jump up. The problem with people blocking on two right now is they haven't trained or they're not thinking mentally the way we think in indoor, where you're sitting in a quarter squat when a setter's about to set, and you have to defend the middle attacker and you have to defend the outside attacker. So your jump has to go immediately up. And a lot of people sink and then go up, right? So hands should be at about face height or even a little bit higher, and your legs should be loaded so that there is no downward motion for you to jump up. And this is why box squats have some pretty good importance. This is why hang cleans not the full one from the ground, but just from the top of your knee or your patella to immediately explode up. That's why those have importance. And we should be very good at, you won't get your max jump, but you'll get above. And so you should be in that quarter squat for the on-2 attack. But we're not talking about that with you yet, Travis. That's just a side note for everybody. Okay. Once you know that the other person is not a threat, you immediately line up your block. And in order to do that, you have to look at the player. I see you're looking a decent amount at the ball in these clips, but you have to look at the player and say, where are their toes facing? Where is their body and hips facing? And then you draw a line from that and you put yourself there immediately. Because wherever they're facing, if they're a even semi-quality team, that's where the setter will be aiming. So you've put yourself in the position where the setter's going to aim and where that person's intending on traveling. Once you're there, now you only have little micro steps to make your adjustment instead of, okay, now I have to make a big move to get in front of them. So Logan talked about it a couple weeks ago. You have to act as if it were in basketball, if you know this reference, and you're taking a charge, which means that you're trying to get in front of where that person is going so that they run right into the middle of your chest. And if you can do that before their first step of their approach, that should be your goal. Okay.
And regardless of line block, cross block, you'll still have that central starting position?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. We don't want to let somebody know that we're blocking line or cross until the absolute last second. Right? If I take 4 steps knowing that you're blocking line, I'm going to go up there with all my jump, all my might, full confidence that cross is open, so I can swing it 100% cross undeterred. Right? Same thing, line. If you just say that you're blocking cross, I'm going to be like, okay, line's wide open, and if that's your version of cross, where you've cleared out of my line path, I'm just going to detonate without even being concerned about you. So whenever we talk about blocking, one hand is responsible for your for the sign that you gave. The other hand is responsible for a large chunk of the other one. Does that make sense? So when I'm blocking line, if I'm closer to, so let's put yourself in my body, right? I'm looking at the net on my right hand, so their left side. On my right hand is my sideline. My right hand, if I'm blocking line, is going to be defending up to the buckle, the back corner of the court. That's where my right hand is, okay? And ideally, your hands should be just outside shoulder width. Then your left hand, if you don't know what's going on or they hid their approach very well, your left hand takes as much cross as possible while still being over the net. That means that your defender now has a very small sliver of cross that they have to defend. Instead of 2 hands definitely protecting line, now my defender has to cover middle, generic cross, and sharp cross. Okay, so you haven't really affected the play because basically you just left an open net for your defender, and that's 3/4 of that court. So for those blockers out there, one hand should take up what you're trying to block, and the other one should be free to move, free to adjust. If they give something away, then bring that other hand over. So if I'm blocking line with my right hand and I go, oh, this guy's definitely swinging line, and we worked on this a little bit with Logan, I said, okay, bring that other hand there because you saw it, you know where he's trying to go, so now defend it. But if they're hiding it well, then you just have to go for a big percentage block and then take up. Right hand takes up to the corner buckle, left hand pushes somewhere into the middle of the court or as much cross as possible, so long as you're still on the other side and above the net. Okay. And in cross, there's very different versions of cross. Cross, you could say, all right, my left hand is going to take up to the middle of the court, like the back middle. This is one version of cross, Travis, so I don't know if it's worth writing down, but you can. And then my right hand takes sharp cross, Or if this person has been all of their cross balls that they've been hitting, all their diagonal attacks, then you say, all right, my right hand is going to take up to half court on the right side, or up to half court in the diagonal. And then my left might take the generic angle. So that means that the seam or the middle of the court would be wide open for that hitter. That's if you're getting a read that whoever's attacking diagonal, what version of diagonal are they attacking? Because when we play Tri-Born, his version of diagonal is pinging that half-court sideline, right? He gets up and he goes sharp there. And I said, all right, well, we can't leave our defense there. And if we do block him across, if you only block up to his seam, you're not going to touch him, so there's no point, right? Mm-hmm. Against Tri, you got to go extra wide, and hopefully no one sends in this podcast. But then, you know, he also taught us a lesson when we made a couple of adjustments and Hagen started getting some digs. Tri changed, and then he went to high, deep, generic cross, and we were nowhere to be found, right? So he made that adjustment, and you have to know as a player throughout that match, what is their cross swing actually landing? Okay, now I make my micro adjustments to my cross block or my defense. What is their line swing actually landing? Then I have to know, because if when they swing line, they never put it on the sideline, you never have to block up to the sideline. You know, so that's why we're always, as defenders, as blockers, we're always collecting stats, and we're saying, okay, where did their line swing land? Does their high line fall at half court, or does it fall at deep court? Because if they hit a high line, should I be running towards half court or should I be running towards the corner based on which player I'm playing against? There's a lot of players that just drop it right behind the blocker. And so then if you're running deep when you're running a 4 as a defender, sorry if I'm getting too advanced for everybody, but if we're trying to bait them and we're running there, now we got to run at half court instead of running at the back of the court. Right? So you have to know where their different shots land, because a high line is not just a high line. A high line could be counterflow. It could be right behind the blocker. It could be a slime line where they try to go low on you, in which case maybe we get the blocker to take that. Or they could be trying to hit that back corner, and that's where that defender should pursue. Right? That back corner, we're really probably not going to get a peel dig from our blocker. So that ball should probably be up to the defender or bait. That was a lot of info. So do you want me to break any of that down?
Well, actually, yeah. I feel like I'm at a point of my game where I'm more so concentrated on what I'm doing. I have heard you guys talk a lot about really reading what the offense is doing and like adapting your game into that. And yeah, I think I'm having that challenge of having those two minds, figuring out what I'm doing, but then also reading and basically recording what those opponents are doing and adjusting to that. Do you have any recommendations on that aspect?
Yeah, I'd say technical fixes are for your practice. And when it's time to play, you find those weaknesses, you exploit them, you've built whatever weaponry you're going to use during that war, right? Like when you're in battle, it's not the time for you to sharpen your sword, right? It's time for you to swing that thing. Yeah. That was the same podcast that I think we just released today. We're talking about players' advice for AVP players that everyone can use. It's episode number 87 if you guys want to hear it. But we talk about not making technical fixes during matches. That is for practice and whatever you show up with on tournament day. That's what you got. So now it's time to figure out how to use whatever in your body, how to win, and get out of your own head of what I have to do technically, and instead what I need to do strategically.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. One other question. Reading if a hitter is swinging or shooting. I think I've got a better idea, especially if that elbow comes up in front. I know it's a lot more likely to be a shot. Mm-hmm. As a blocker, when you have a shooter, you're better off delaying that a little bit longer so that you can be up there. Is that correct?
Maybe. So, in general, people release their shots later, and it comes off their hand slower than a swing would. So then there's two opportunities where we should say wait, right? Because they hang and then go slow. So that's the first one. And then when they hit, the ball comes off slower. So in order to meet us in time, yeah, we should be waiting on the ground longer. But waiting and swatting, if you know somebody's shooting, if you know they're shooting, okay, this is a very good time to peel. We should really peel, because when you jump, you are stuck in the air. And there's only that small little shaded area behind you where you might touch balls, right? But if you're only getting, the last wrinkle in your wrist, if you're only getting that high above the net, you're really not slowing this ball down enough for your partner to chase effectively. Okay, you have to slow things down in order to be that swat blocker. That's why Logan can be one of those guys. He's 6'9", so when he's reaching above the top of the antenna, that's how high somebody has to shoot. So now he's given me 3.5 feet of extra space to chase down a ball when he's my blocker. If you're only giving me 4 to 6 inches of extra height to chase down the ball, it's still not enough for me to be super fast. So I need you to help me as a blocker. I need you to peel, be on the ground, and then you can be agile. So yes, we wait. Oh no.
Oh no.
How do I X out of this nonsense? Okay. Anyway, yeah, does that answer it? We should wait, okay? We should try to reach high if we're massive, right? But more if you're not massive and you're not reaching the top of the antenna or maybe 3/4 of the way up, then you delay, and then backpedal with your hands up, right? We like the backpedal in general against somebody who can hit hard, who can detonate, but they choose to shoot. If you know that they can't hit hard, they can never hit a ball harder than you could react to, and you're not intimidated by them when they swing hard, then you can use that crossover plant really early, and you can just play double down defense on them. So you have to look at the opponent you're playing against. Are they capable of hitting hard? If they're capable, but they like to shoot, then we do a late backpedal peel. Okay. If they're not capable of detonating, then we can use that crossover plant way earlier. So we're just there to protect the overset, and then you can get out of there as soon as you know the overset's not happening.
And if they can't detonate, do you bother being up there as a blocker to begin with at all? Or do you just run double defense right from the get-go?
A 10 to 13 foot net protector surfer position.
Cool.
So the more the other team cannot hit, you're still aware. So you still kind of like lean forward as if you have to sprint to the net, but you do that from 10 to 13 feet because that's plenty of space for you to play an on-two ball. I don't like just straight double down defense because nobody's responsible for the overset mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then we lose a lot of points there, and you could be just one backpedal step away from your defensive position if you just lean forward with 1 foot on half court line, and then, okay, overset's not coming, backpedal 1 step, and now you're in regular defense.
Cool. I like that.
Another thing I like to think about too, Travis, is I'm a big advocate for what are you communicating with your partner. So not just like your signs, but also your body positioning. Because as I think about blocking, I think of it from a defender standpoint, where if I'm seeing my blocker is moving a little late to front the hitter, then I start to doubt, oh shoot, do I remember my call? Or, oh goodness, like, is he doing something different and taking a different part of the court than expected? And then it makes me hesitate to make my moves as well. And so as a defender, as I'm watching my block, I want to be very sure that he and I are on the same page. So the earlier that I can see that you are doing what you are communicating that you're going to do with your sign, the better for me as a defender to be able to be like, okay, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to. I'm going to make the moves too. So it just gives the defender more freedom whenever you're sticking to bodying the attacker and then using that one hand to stick to the call and then the other one as kind of a roamer, like a reader / roamer. to reach a little bit more aggressively into the opposite call as well, or like taking the seam, whatever that may be, whatever you and your partner decide. But just that's a great question to ask yourself: is what is my body language communicating as I'm blocking to my defender? Do they know that the call that we decided to call is going to happen? And if they don't, then they're super hesitant to make any sort of defensive moves. So I think it just gives your defender the freedom to be able to move and move confidently to the position that he's supposed to do, because he sees you communicating with your body what you're going to do with him. So I think that's a great question to always consider, whether that be blocking or setting or passing. Like whenever you're setting, I always think about DJ. Whenever a setting comes up, dude, he's such a good setter. I was just talking about it yesterday. Every single time he goes to set, his whole body from his feet to his head are communicating exactly where that set is going. And I think that's a huge piece of setting and just skills in general in beach volleyball that goes unnoticed too often. Because whenever I think about sets, his sets are the easiest to hit from anyone that I've ever played with. And it's just easy to read where he's going with it. So same thing with blocking. Like, how can you be the most communicative blocker with your defender? I think that's a great question to ask yourself each time you're going into a game blocking.
That has one last spin-off question, if I've got time for it. What to do as a blocker when they're coming down straight in the middle? The set is a little off, or the pass is a little off, and so that attack lane is now coming right directly through middle, and you've called either a line or a cross block. How do you
rewind the tape and listen to the different hands?
Okay, yeah.
Right?
So if I'm line blocking, I'm still putting that right hand on the line block, and then just trying to cover the rest with the left. Okay.
Yep. That's it. Cool. Yeah, whether they're in the middle, and this is why people get so worked up about how do I defend on two. On two is a spike. You have a play call for on three. You do the exact thing for on two. Like, people are like, oh, do I sit in the middle? Maybe I do this. No, you have a play. We use some code words. So our team used some code words to say whether you were blocking diagonal or right or left for the on-two ball, so that you could have that defensive setup. But most people don't make a play call for on-two, so then they get super flustered because they have no idea where they're supposed to be. So maybe your first sign to your partner is what you're going to do for on-three. And Bill Kolinsky was always kind of famous for this. He'd be shouting at the other net. He's like, hey, I got this on three and this on two, right? And of course he'd shown it behind his back, but he's communicating with his guy. Other people use different versions of how to block on two, but if you don't have a plan for on two, of course it's going to be a mess. You have to put yourself in the same defensive position you would for an on three attack, but both of you need to know what you're doing. So give the play call. So just say hey, I got these and this on two. That means that I would be blocking the side that my open hand is. So I'm showing, for those who are listening on podcast, maybe I'm showing my second call is one of my hands is a fist, one of my hands is open hand behind my back, and my open hand represents the side that I'm blocking as a blocker. Okay, and we don't have to call it line or angle, because all those rules is really what side of the court you're blocking anyway. So we can always use open hand. And in wind conditions, I often use that. I don't even call line or cross. I'll just say which side of the court I'm blocking for the entire point. Because if you have side wind, there's one strong side and one good side, and we have to defend that consistently.
Yeah, I think it's also important to communicate back sets too. So on two, on three, and then also hey, here on back. And so because as you start to play against more people, or on a, Mark was talking about, on a true good side of the court, rather not so much front to back, but side to side, especially in California where there's always some sort of ocean breeze. So there's one side of each court, or each side of the court, that's not an easy side to attack from. So a lot of people on those specific sides will flow to the strand side rather than the ocean side. And so it's really important in those kind of environments to also communicate, what am I blocking if they go back? And that could even occur in a play where you see that their body's starting to shift to the other side of the court. Maybe it's I like to use butt taps, but not with just one hand, like use both hands and then just tap the side of the court that you're going to take. Like if I'm taking this side, I'm just going to tap like this, but still have the other one there. So, because some people, as like me, I'll be watching that happen as I'm flowing. Like if I see somebody tap one side of their butt, I already know where they're blocking, and their hand isn't back there. Like I already got all the information I need. Yep. And so at that point, I think it's important to communicate as well. Like, hey, just want to make sure we're on the same page here. So I'm going to be over communicative with that within the play.
Nice. Thanks a lot, guys. That's really helpful.
Yeah, good stuff, dude. Keep it up.
Thanks.
A lot of info to unpack there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that started off with make sure you line up your body where the hitter is going.
Travis got it. He's good.
Yeah. So Travis, like that's from just 20 seconds of video there. There's too much late movement. The late movement should be tiny little 3-inch steps, right? Mm-hmm. All of the work to get in front of that hitter should have been done way earlier. So you get there and like if you hit a pause button on when the setter is setting, draw a mental line from that attacker's toe and see if it lines up with the middle of your chest. And if that lines up, you're in a great position.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Plino is asking if our Florida September 8th to 10th camp is still on. Plino, we didn't get enough signups for that, so we only had 2 signups going into that weekend. So we converted it to a Sunday 6-hour clinic. We still want to run something. So Chad and Matt are going to be there, and that's Sunday, September 10th, is going to be a 6-hour beach volleyball fundamentals. Don't let that trick you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's only for beginners. It means we are rocking on the fundamentals technique. So passing, setting, attacking, and a little bit of defensive positioning. And as with any clinic, like we've named things beginners clinics or fundamentals clinics, and we get AA players to show up. So then we just upgrade the level of the drill. But if you want 5 hours of reps on the basics, which if you know any great athlete, it's just repping out the basics and being as great at the boring things as possible. Then you got those 5 hours. That's September 10th. Okay. That's a 6-hour clinic. Lunch is included. You get an optics ball. You get a shirt. You get a hat. You get a journal, lanyards, wristbands, magnets, stickers, a whole bunch of goodies. And that is at PCI in Florida, postcard in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Shout out.
Join. Yeah. Oh, and Matt's got his leagues. Wednesday night leagues are coming this fall in St. Petersburg Beach.
Let's go.
So Wednesday night, guys, we're going to run some 4s leagues on the beach at the postcard inn Wednesday evenings. So we will let you know when signups go there, but just start gathering your teams and gathering the people you want to play against, and we'll have a little fun Wednesday situation out there.
Yeah, sunsets at PCI. They're coming.
And guys, we do have 4 coaches out there this weekend. So Matt, Chad, JM Plummer, and Nolan Abrecht. Yeah. That's a squad. Dude, that's a force team in itself right there.
It's a stout team. So
we have 24 people signed up. So we've got a little bit of room. We added an extra coach just to make sure we had more. So we definitely have more than, a 1-to-6 ratio. So if you want to get in there, the whole shirt and swag situation, we already packed the bag. So we might have some extra stuff for you. But it's 3 days. It starts tomorrow. So if you're watching this live and you're anywhere near Florida, or you can just grab a last-second flight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 hours Friday, 8 hours Saturday, and 6 hours on Sunday. That's a big weekend. So check it out. See if you want to head down there. But that's a was named a B and A men's and women's camp, and it covers everything super fast. So that's a lot of hours of volleyball. 22 hours of volleyball in 3 days. It's nice.
Plus Virginia Beach too, right?
Oh, and Virginia Beach, yeah. If you're in Virginia, yeah. If you're south of the Mason-Dixon line, then head on over to Virginia Beach. Brandon's got his 2-hour clinic tonight and tomorrow. So hustle on over there.
You better hurry.
Cool. All right. So easy day and no extra film from any of the members. They loved hearing from Travis. And way to be prepared, Travis. But that's all we got from today's meeting. Unless anybody has any last-second questions, we are going to wrap it up. Remember, these shirts, if you're watching right now, I would say check at the end of the day if you want these polyester long sleeves. And you can find them at betterbeach.com/shop. And international people, I'm not sure how we're going to work it out, but I'm relying on some master to build all this stuff out for us, and hopefully he does a great job. And when he does, we will recommend the hell out of him, so that if you have a club or if you have a company, we'll rock and roll. But Ethan's already stepped up big for Manhattan Beach, so thank you, Ethan.
Shout out to Ethan. Yeah, these are nice. I feel like it's a good fishing shirt too. Maybe not the white one, the black one. I feel like the black one would be a good fishing shirt because then you don't get the fish blood on it, you know?
That forethought, Matt, is why we've got you on the team.
That's what I'm here for. Those conversations I was having at the Bab tent.
Smart. Yeah. Oh, are you a fisher? No, you want to go with the black. Let me tell you why.
Don't do white.
All right. Members, we will see you guys in the group. Thanks for stopping in and being a part of it. Travis, thanks for your film and for sharing and being open and hustling. Hydrate like an animal so that groin has the opportunity to fix, and make sure that you go overboard on protein, because if you need muscle repair, you need to have those amino acids and the protein in there so that your muscles have an excess of stuff. So that goes for anybody who's got injury, right? Anytime you're there with an injury, 100% no alcohol, 100% double down on the protein, like at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I know we're talking pounds. I'm not sure if you're in kilos, Travis, but you can do the math on your own. And and make sure that you absolutely hydrate, so that when you have the protein in your body, now your bloodstream and everything actually brings it to your muscles easier, and the hydration within your muscle fibers actually helps you heal quicker. So injuries, ultra hydration, 0 alcohol because that ruins the protein synthesis, and extra protein and water. So.
Great. Travis, you're playing tonight, right? The final?
Yeah.
Let's go, dude. So you have 2 people. It's triples or doubles?
Yep. Co-ed triples for tonight.
Nice. Are you hitting?
I will have Our Lady as the libero, and then I'll be between setter or hitter.
Bombs away, dude. Let's go.
Bombs away.
Bombs away.
Scream over you.
Over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luck, dude. Excited to see some film from that.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't actually filmed any from the grass. Yeah, I'll clear the camera. I'll try and grab a little footage from it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get defensive looks, blocking looks, and approach looks. So, and setting looks. So it's all the same. Yeah. For those if you guys are listening and you think, oh, it's grass volleyball, like Better at Beach can't help with grass volleyball. Look who wins every grass tournament. It's a beach player. So like, this all applies. All this technique applies to grass and beach, and our serve stuff, our arm swing, and our approach stuff for defense. Guys, even if you're an indoor player, jump on. I promise you, we will give you the value. And just keep your ears open for it. And then just like, Bruce Lee and John Hayden, discard what's useless. Like, take in what's valuable, discard what's useless. So, be there for you.
And best place for the footage, is that from behind again, or do you guys prefer from the side?
Back middle. That diagonal view sucks.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Thanks, everybody. From us at Better at Beach. We'll see you on the sand.
Ciao.